Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. I'm joined by Bettina today. As you can see, they're looking radiant this morning. Bettina, how are you? Oh,
I'm very well.
You got
as well.
Obviously, Bettina is a Gothenburg fan, and we're here to preview the game between Gothenburg and Man City, which is on Wednesday evening in the Champions League, round of 32, I think it is. And to give them the Swedish name is Göteborg. You have no chance of saying that when you see it written as in English as Gothenburg. I think for the purposes of this chat, we'll call them Gothenburg because my Swedish isn't great. But I will start off by saying, hey or welcome, Bettina. Hur mår du?
Very nice to join you, Ray.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to have you. We're going to start off, Bettina. Just ask a little bit about you, who you are, and why you support Gothenburg.
So I've always been very passionate about women's football, and even before all the publicity started, really, I think started to getting very established after the Euros in 2017. But even before then, my friends and I were supporting teams in several countries, and one of them was Sweden. So I've always been very interested in Swedish teams and Damallsvenskan. And yeah, of all the clubs, I thought Gothenburg were the ones that played the best, and also it's very attractive football. So I've been supporting them for many, many years. Been going through ups and downs. 2017 was a very difficult year for the club. We always got relegated, but ever since we've been doing very, very well in Svenska Cupen and also in Damallsvenskan. So it's nice to share the great times now after going through a bit of a rough patch. But yeah, I'm definitely very, very big supporter.
Can you give us a little brief history about the club and what it's achieved and how it's regarded in Sweden?
So nowadays it's very well regarded. It started off, I think it was established even in the 70s, but obviously things have changed progressively. And I think really the big breakthrough was probably in 2004. And we've had a lot of very, very good players. Lika Martins, she played for the club. We've had several American stars as well. Kristen Press, she's now playing for for another UK. But yeah, we sort of had quite a lot of big stars playing for the club. But for some reason, I think, for some years it was very difficult for the players to click. And then all of a sudden, we had Marcus Lantz, the trainer, join us, and he just worked miracles with the players that he had, the signings that he made as well. So yeah, they've really established themselves now at the top of Damallsvenskan, and also we played for the Svenska Cupen as well. This year has been cancelled because of COVID, but we won Svenska Cupen last year, so that was an incredible achievement. I was very, very happy and could celebrate because now they're still Svenska Cupen champions as well as Damallsvenskan champions. So it's a very good time to be a supporter of the club. Just
tell people that Kristen Heath is playing for Man United, so that's why I think one of them, Christian Press and Tobin Heath, they're the Americans that play for Man United, and I think Tobin Heath said some less than polite remarks about City. So we're not big fans of United anyway, but that kind of made it worse. You talked about the Damallsvenskan, which is the Swedish league. This same as the FA Women's Super League. There's 12 clubs, but there's only 12 clubs, I'd say, in England and Sweden. But how popular is women's football in Sweden? How big is it?
Yeah, it's getting there. I think this year has been a bit of a breakthrough because so many leagues were suspended due to COVID. So this was really a time, for the Swedish clubs to shine, and I think they did. It's a very competitive league, and number 1 can play number 10, and it will still be a very, very competitive match. And over the last couple of years, there have been 2 or 3 clubs that have been established, and they will probably be, in the top 5. However, 1 year Pitya won, and they came up from the Elitan, which is the league below, and So, and they won the league. It was incredible achievement. So it's not as if very much kind of like 2 or 3 teams are the only favorites. They may be in winning eventually the league, but the games are very, very competitive. As in, you know, any game can be tricky, and a lot of teams have nothing to lose either. So they'll really go for it. The attendance is getting better, but it was getting better in Sweden. But obviously with COVID, it's been a very difficult year for everyone.
Yeah. What's the media coverage like? When I looked recently, obviously you're going to get it's in Sweden, but America is always a very big on women's football. Partly because when their players are playing, like when they're playing in Sweden, that has a lot of coverage back in America. When they're playing in England, that has a huge amount of coverage as well. So what's the media like around the world for Swedish women's football?
Well, it's very understated, as the Swedes are, which is a bit of a shame because I wish they would push the players a bit more. But things changed tremendously after the bronze medal, of course, at the World Championships. That was an incredible moment. And I think, to see the images in Gothenburg with players there, with the people that were there. But I think in general, Swedish people are quite understated, and even the press is quite understated. So I wish they would push more for it. Gothenburg itself, the city is doing a lot of promotion. If you go onto the website for the city itself, then you will find some information on the football club as well. So I think that's really great that they're really trying to encourage people to go to the games. And also get publicity for the players because they've achieved so much over the last few years. And if you look at the national team, there's so many players play for the national team. Hopefully Jennifer Falk will be the new number 1 for Sweden, as in permanent number 1. So it is really important, I think, that the press does pick up a bit more on it because these athletes deserve so much more publicity than they're already getting. But obviously the clubs need to push for it as well.
Yeah, I mean, you've touched upon the COVID-19 situation. Did that affect women's football in Sweden? As in, I guess there were no fans, or were they fans? And were they able to complete the season as planned?
I mean, there were some obviously adjustments to the schedule, but in the beginning, when no fans were allowed, then some fans were allowed, and then no fans were allowed again, just because of the ever-changing situation. I think the players really missed, as they did here, the supporters, because obviously with a 12th player in a way, we will make some noise, but it has been very, very tough for us to just watch it on the telly and online, the games. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to go back because obviously, I used to go over a lot, flying over from London to Gothenburg to attend the games.
What's it like going to games then? Obviously, you're in, people don't know, you're in London, but you would fly over to Gothenburg to watch the game. So what's it like, that experience of having to go to another country on a regular basis to watch your team play?
Well, I think like everyone, when you choose a club, you stick with a club, and it's not just a fleeting kind of moment. You think, well, this year I'll support this team, and this time next year I'll support another team. You pick a team and you stick with a team, and we have been going through ups and downs, and it doesn't matter because ultimately you still support the players and the club. And for me, it's very important. I was in a very fortunate position that I could do this. So whenever I could, getting up at like 3:30 in the morning, then going to Heathrow, getting the flight over, get the bus to the stadium, have something to drink and eat with some fellow supporters. I've become very good friends with the unofficial supporters club.
Yeah.
It's quite a big crowd, and I've run the social media as well with 2 other people on Instagram. So it's just good fun. But to be there at the games, the players are super approachable. I'm here in the UK, people are approachable as well, and the clubs always make an effort for the players to chat to the supporters. But it's a very kind of family atmosphere when you're up there, and it's people take the time just to talk to you, and they do think I'm a little bit crazy, of course, flying over for the day.
Yeah.
But it's no different to people. If Man City is playing Chelsea or something like that, it's just instead of driving, I'm flying and getting a bus. But it's a whole day out for me. It's just a whole experience, or even staying over. It doesn't matter if I couldn't go back on the same day. I'd still go or attend Champions League game in Munich. But I'm just a very big supporter of the team, and I want to be there. And and support women's football in general. Anyways, it's very important to me to do that.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I did check once the draw was out whether the fans were allowed at games in Sweden, and I checked the prices of a flight from Paris over to Gothenburg, but then there were no fans, and and then the price of tickets was extremely expensive to come from Paris. I think most places I'd have had to make 2 transfers, and it's about an 18-hour trip, and I just thought that's a little. That would be a little bit rough there and back. But anyway, I'm sure one day, once we're allowed to go back to games, we'll start going to some of these places that, you know, for us English fans anyway, we haven't been to. That'd be really cool. Obviously, this Champions League is a little bit messed up, because I think it was supposed to be a group of where you played 6 games. But instead, now we've got a knockout straight away, round of 32, home and away, and that's it. But your season finished, as you told me, on the 17th of November. Obviously, we're now the 8th of December when we're filming this. That's 3 weeks. So how do you think, or how do the players maintain their sharpness, their fitness, and their form in that 3-week period? Is it going to be easy?
I mean, it's going to be difficult because you have to have some match sharpness. But you know, Sweden game, and as I said, we have many players in the Swedish team as well. So there will be, you know, playing competitive matches, and also on Friday there was a practice match against the Swedish youth team as well. So you know, it's no doubt it's going to be very tough, and to have the match fitness. But I do know that, you know, the players are very into keeping fit. I get exhausted just watching some of their fitness videos, just watching them. So, you know, and they're very focused. I mean, they're very professional people, and they've been playing for a very long time.
Yeah.
Some of the players have come in through the youth team as well, the under-19s. So, you know, I've no doubt. I have every confidence in the players, and I know that they're the underdog. You know, playing against Man City, but I do really think that they have a very good chance.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed for me, and that they do well.
I really think what you said, that the international break, and with so many of your players being international and playing in the Swedish team, and then going away together, obviously that helps to, like you say, maintain that fitness, and obviously the camaraderie and the morale between the players. I think if it had been a 3-week period where it's just the club, it's much more difficult, I guess, to maintain and keep up that fitness. So I think that international break probably has done you a world of good. So, I mean, obviously, I think most English fans and City fans won't know too much about Gothenburg and the players. So can you tell me who you believe are your key players?
The key players for me, the first one is Emma Koivisto. She's a Finnish international, and I mean, she can play at the back, mid, and she scores goals as well. And for me, last year she was incredible, but this year she's had such a good season. She's very fast. I believe there's quite a lot of clubs, actually international clubs, are interested in signing her. You know, but yeah, she's just incredibly talented, and she's, I think, at the back, especially with Kuhlberg as well. Emma Kuhlberg. She's very, very steady as well. We had very, very few goals against us during the season. So yeah, definitely want to watch Emma Koivisto. That's the first player. Then in midfield, I mean, there's so many, but Filippa Angeldal, she was signed for the club this year. And basically, she's just an incredible player. It's like she has little strings on her feet with the ball when she plays. And she scored 3 goals in the Sweden match. So, you know, that's someone definitely to look out for in midfield. There's another international player, we call her Vilde Boe Riise. So Norwegian player, gels the team together from midfield and the back. And of course, we have forwards as well. Rebecca Blomqvist, she's left. She's gone to Wolfsburg, but we still have this, you know, Sina Blackstenius. She came from Linköping, and I think the most dangerous players up front, I think you all know already, is Paulina Hammarlund. I mean, she's like a goal machine. She's incredible. She has had lots of injuries, double knee surgery, but she keeps on fighting back, and she's back in the national team as well. She went to the Olympics, won the silver medal at the Olympics, so she's got a lot of history with the national team, and she's an incredible player. So those 4 players are definitely Koivisto, Vilde, Angondal, and Palo Hammarlund, the most
We look
dangerous
out for them.
ones.
Absolutely, we look out for them. So,
what about you, though? What about your players, Ray?
Nice. We're lucky. We're fortunate now that we're getting a lot of strength in depth at our club. I think for this season, the player that stood out for me the most is Sam Mewis, the American player. She's very commanding in that midfield. She is like a box-to-box midfielder, and she can do everything in that midfield. And the way she carries the ball with power, with strength, the physicality she's got. She's, in English terms, 5 foot. I think 5'11". So she's pretty tall. She's good in the air. I mean, she would be, because most of the players are shorter than her. So that's a massive advantage. She scores a few goals. She creates. I think for me, she's been the standout player this season. Yeah. Apart from her, we've got, I think Chloe Kelly's done well this season after the move from Everton. I think she's gone off the ball just a little bit recently, but she was on fire at the start of the season. Lauren Hemp is back. And I think, it's going to be really interesting to see how we do with Chloe on one side and Lauren on the other, because Lauren is an amazing player, so much potential. Sadly, she's been injured since the first game of the season, but she came back and our last game had a few minutes. I'm not sure she'll start against you guys. I don't know if that's too much too soon. Hopefully she'll be back definitely next week to start.
She's very clear as well.
What's that? Oh, Laura Coombs. She even played the other day. She's done really, really well. For somebody to get into a midfield that contains Sam Mewis, Caroline Weir, Kira Walsh, and for Laura Coombs to actually push one of those players out and take a spot is amazing. When she scored a fabulous goal against Liverpool in the Continental Cup a few weeks ago. Guys, if you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. If I remember correctly, the ball was knocked to her and she flicked it with her heel while she was running and knocked it forward and then volleyed it over the keeper. It was just an incredible goal. And then she scored, I think, in the next 2 games, she scored again in each game. So she's having a good start. But Caroline Weir got 3 assists on Sunday in the first half against Everton. And so, we're fortunate we've got quality players, and obviously we strengthened in the summer with Alex Greenwood and Lucy Bronze. Rose Lavelle played against Everton. She started against Everton. I think she struggled, or maybe not struggled, but she's not shown the qualities that she's got, and she struggled to get in the side to start games. But she started at the weekend. I guess Sam Mewis was on the bench, Rose Lavelle started, and Rose, I think she had a pretty good first half, so hopefully she's finding her feet. So we got quality all over the place. It's just getting them to gel, which I think, for me anyways, disappointed me compared to last season, because we were so good last season, and you think, well, we've lost a couple of players, Pauline Bremer, and I can't remember the second one we lost. But then we've got all these 5 players. We've, as I said, 5 players I've mentioned, and you'd expect us to be a lot better. But it's getting that gel right, and I think slowly we are doing it. I mean, we really spanked Everton in that first half. I'm not sure Everton were as strong as they'd been. We played them 3 times this season. Fortunately, we beat them each time. But this was the easiest victory over Everton. So we're just hoping we've turned the corner and we can go from strength to strength now.
You see, this is the one thing that we do miss at Göteborg, is the depth. We have a lot of youth players now, because quite a few players, Goka, she's gone to Portland. I mean, she's such a tremendous player for us at the back, and again, she scores a lot of goals. She just won a prize as well in Finland for best player. Yes, Emily Sonnet, she's her out of contract as well, and then my Blumquist's gone as well. So
Yeah.
you know, that's the only issue at our club is the fact that the bench is, we don't have that depth, although we have a lot of youth players coming through, which is great. But yeah, that will be a challenge.
So my final question is going to be, what do you think the score is going to be? We always do a score prediction. It's hard to try and guess what's going to happen, but we go there.
So, you know, I just think we're going to surprise you guys. I really think we will. So I'm going to go with a very modest 2-1 to Göteborg.
I think it'd be probably a tight game. I think most of our games have been tight. Again, when we play good teams, it's not easy. And there's been a couple of games where we've done really well, but apart from the Everton, I think we beat Bristol City by 8-1 earlier in the season. But you know, they'd scored. I think when they played us, they'd lost 5 games and scored 1 goal and let in about 19 or 20. So they were on a really bad run of form, and they had the COVID issue. And I think some of their players, because they had to self-isolate, they had to bring academy players in. So a discount that. So really, we haven't thrashed teams, and they've all games have been tight. So I can see this being the same, and trying to figure out what a score would be. That would leave everybody happy. I think 1-1 would leave everybody happy. But I've got to stick with City, and I'll say 2-1 to City. You know, your forward line, I think, will, with the pace you've got, I think you'll get at least a couple of chances. I think we might control the midfield, but you've got the forward line, I think, to create a little bit of trouble, get through and score a goal. So I say 2-1 to Man City.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to, you know, we do have Jennifer Falk that you have to get past. I'm not sure if you saw one of the games. She made an incredible save, like almost, you know, she managed to get the ball out, bounce back, and she still managed to get it out again as well. So she's very talented. You know, with the forward, Stina Blackstenia, she's established. Pano Hammarlund is a goal machine. And then I'm guessing Evelyn AJ as well. She's a youth player who's come through, established herself now in the senior team. So, you know, she's pretty good in scoring as well. So, but, you know, both teams are very competitive. It's going to be a great game, I'm sure of it. And just, yeah, they beat Bayern at home, so they do know how to win games away as well. But I'm very confident that they'll be doing very well. So fingers crossed.
We'll see, and hopefully, you know, if you got the time, we'll try and get you on next week to preview the return leg. That would be great. Sadly, that is before the review. I think the return leg is before the review is on the 16th, so there might be fans after that, which is a real shame because, you know, obviously we'd love to be there and watch the game, but it's just the way it is. The cookie is crumbled for us. I've got to say, Bettina, it's been fantastic. Hang on, I'll get my scarf. My City scarf as well. There you go. Well, it doesn't work too well. It doesn't work too well because it's all the yellow doesn't work. When you turn it up like that, use the scarf.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to have it an angle to do it like that. So yeah, it doesn't work with the screen behind me. So you've got no screen showing off your scarf. Thank you so much. But Bettina, no, it's been lovely to talk to you. It's been lovely to talk to you, and hopefully it's a good game and we all have a good time. And then it would be nice to come back to Manchester with the tie still in the balance. City have struggled in the Champions League. We just seem to get knocked out in the knockout stages straight away. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But we'd love to have you back and chat with you next week as well, Bettina.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem at all.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too. All right then. Thanks very much, Ray.